Sit back underneath this wonderful show of Divine Oracle podcast that can be found right here underneath Podbean with your hosts, Psychic Me, Chris and Jillian. At times, so that they will be having special guests coming to you, talking about their own spiritual journeys and where you can find them.
Alrighty, everybody, it is yours truly, Psychic Me and Brother Chris here, your one host and founder of the podcast here. Anyways, those we are going to be taking a little bit of a break, but don't worry, there's a lot more shows coming to you guys. And today, though, I'm going to be playing back one of our old shows, and that way there it does have us with Eva that used to be underneath our show, and we sat down with Jackie Dineison. And good day, everybody. This is Brother Chris here and Gypsy Lady Eva.
Hello.
Yes, and waiting online, though, we have a very special guest, though. She's a good friend of mine. Now, just before we went live here, Eva just met her. She's all the way from across the pond from Norwich, and not Manchester. But yeah, she is the founder of Feathers Academy. A lot of people in North America remember her from the TV show Rescue Mediums. And we'll find out what she's been up to and also be able to learn about her past for people that are new. Again, though, so let's welcome Jackie Dineison to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me, and hello, Eva.
Yes, well, right now, though, we have Jackie on, and Jackie is the founder of Feathers Academy. So again, the feathers actually do mean things. But just before we get started, Jackie, would love to learn about your first experience that you've ever had within the spiritual paranormal world.
The first experience I had?
Yes.
So the first experience I remember was when I was a child, and I was with my friend, and I bent down to stroke a dog, and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm stroking the dog," and she couldn't see the dog. So my first experience was actually seeing animals. I could see animals. And I was aware of the energy and being able to sort of communicate with them, if you like. You know, I knew the dog wanted to say hello. I was probably about 8 years old at the time. And then a few years passed, and I was waiting for my auntie who lived with us to come home from work. And a man came past, asked me what I was doing, and I knew who he was. And I said, "Oh, I'm just waiting for, my Auntie Jean to come." And he said, "Oh, just tell her that George said hello." I said, "I will." And off he went up the street, and Jean came, my Auntie Jean came, and I said, "Oh, George said hello." She said, "George?" I said, "Yes, he lives in that house up there." She said, "You couldn't have seen George. He died 2 years ago." And so that was my first full apparition, and I've never ever forgotten that one. Sort of stayed with me.
Okay.
And then as I got a little bit older, I didn't see spirit in the same way, and I don't see spirit like that now. If I'm doing readings, I don't work like that. If I'm doing investigations, I might see them like that, but mainly it's sort of in the mind's eye, which I know you both understand.
You said you saw animals. Do you still see animals, or do you still see animals?
Yeah.
Spirit animals?
Yeah, I can do. I can sort of tune into the animals in spirit, and I wonder sometimes whether it's because the animals don't have the same hang-ups that humans have. They're sort of very pure of thought. So is that the reason why they like to pop in and pop out? And the dog that I saw, I believe it was like a little West Highland Terrier, a little white dog. And my friend had a dog like that. So was it because I was with my friend that I was able to see it? Very likely. So if I'm doing a reading for someone, very often one of their animals will come through. But again, it's a sudden image that's in my mind's eye, or even like the smell of a horse. You know how you've got a particular smell with a horse, so I can smell the horse's energy, or I can feel maybe a dog that's sat on my feet. So all of a sudden I feel a heaviness on my feet, and it feels sort of a dog shape, if that makes sense. So yeah, I can still connect with them in that way.
Okay, let me ask you another animal question. You say you see the spirits, you can connect with them. Have you ever done a reading on an animal?
Do you mean as to what the animal's thinking and feeling?
Yeah, but as you do a reading for people, do you do the same thing? Have you ever done the same thing with animals?
With the owners there, yes, but it's not been like a scheduled thing that I would go and purposely talk to. I've got a very good friend. Her name is Jackie Weaver, and she is an animal psychic, and that's what she does all the time. She communicates with those dogs still living and those animals still living, sorry, and those in spirit. So I have gone to maybe do a reading for someone maybe in their home, or I've been on an investigation in their home, and there has been an animal there who really wants you to know their story. So the animal will say, and this is an example. I went to a lady's house, and she had a lot of the big American dogs. This is in England, but they're a bit. Are they American Bull Terrier or something? They're quite a big dog anyway. And she does these. She's got all of these dogs, and I think there's about 3 or 4 dogs. And one of the dogs came to me whilst I was with her, and the dog sort of implied to me, and it's a thought transfer, that it didn't like how one of the other dogs was behaving, and it was being quite territorial with the food. So one of the other dogs wasn't able to get the food that she needed, because it was a pack thing. And when I explained this to the owner as to what was happening, she said that totally made sense with what was there. So now she feeds them all separately, or she started to feel them all in separate rooms, so to alleviate that. But it was like one dog was telling tales on another. It's like, well, I'm going to snitch on you. I know what you're up to. So that's just an example of how I can communicate in that way with animals. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, that's a little bit comical, especially with a pet telling on another pet, which is a little bit comical. So yes, I know your stories quite well, but a lot of reviewers don't. Now, though, again, you're the founder of Feathers Academy. You want to sort of let us know about what you do with Feathers, by any chance?
I actually closed the shop.
Okay.
Part of Feathers Academy. So Feathers Academy is run by myself and Steve Furlong, who you know.
Yes.
You've met Steve. He's a friend of yours too. And so Steve and I run Feathers Academy together. So we still do workshops together, and we still, plan retreats and things together. So we still have the Aura camera. We take the Aura camera out to events. So we're still Feathers Academy, but I just don't have the shop anymore, so I am in my lovely little cabin at the bottom of my garden that my lovely son built for me, and this is where I do all my readings.
Okay.
I still teach as well. So because this is just one smallish room, I can do small groups of people in here, but we hire a hall, and I have another lovely lady who is a tutor and mentor. Her name's Julie, and her and I work together with psychic development and spiritual development.
I was just curious, what is your specialty to teach? Or what do you teach what do you teach?
What do I teach? Is there a song in there, Eva, somewhere?
I'll find it. Let me look.
You'll find it. What do I teach? Well, psychic development. So it's an awareness of somebody's psychic ability. So the very first, no matter what level a student is at, if somebody is like already working as a medium and wants to develop, other skills, or wants to, be with other people who are like-minded, it doesn't matter what level you are, whether you're a novice or whether you come in and you already know some things. I always start with grounding. Grounding, how to ground, how to protect, not to keep you safe from spirits, but to ground your own energy so you're connecting with Mother Earth. And then you are recharging your batteries and looking after your own energy. And once you can do that, ground and protect, then you're able to recognize other energy. If you know your own energy, you can recognize other energy. So it's mediumship, but it's also how to meet your spirit guide, how to meditate, how to, where all your chakras are, what they're there for, how they work, and how can we be in tune with ourselves in order to maybe help other people. So we do things like tarot cards, oracle cards, pendulum work, psychometry, photographic reading, crystal ball, water scrying, which is great fun. And anything that anybody wants to develop, really. So if I'm doing one-to-one sessions with people, I like to have a little meeting with them to find out where they're at and why they want to develop their psychic ability and what they want to use it for, because everybody's different, everybody has a different purpose, and so it's important to find out why that person wants to develop. So I know then how I can best serve them. It's pointless me showing somebody how to use a crystal ball if they're never ever going to use a crystal ball, or if they just want to become a healer, so the crystal ball might not be of any use to them. But it really depends on what the individual wants, if it's an individual session. But as a group, I love working with a group of people because you develop the energy. The energy is really lovely, and you can feel that energy. It builds week by week as everybody sort of really connects with each other, So we do a lot of meditation, interpretation of meditation, working with spirit guides, and then workshops and things like past life workshop. We do past lives where you connect with your past life. Akashic records, ascended masters, the angelic system. There's lots of different things, whatever anybody wants to do. We've done tea leaf reading as well. That's a really fun one. I love doing that. But you can coffee read as well. Anything that's the dregs of the bottom.
I drink coffee. Does that count?
It's what, sorry?
I said I drink coffee. Does that count?
Yeah. So you can.
Can I put a little joke in? Can I put a little joke in? Can I put a little joke in?
Yeah, go on, please.
You mentioned crystal balls. Okay.
Sure.
Why don't ghosts have children?
I don't know. Why do ghosts not have children?
Because they all have crystal balls.
It's like yes. It's like
I'm going to use that one.
You may be my guest.
So yeah, it's like so I know though that you've actually been here over in North America, like Canada, for quite a bit in the past. Where Trevor, the host of Haunting Live podcast, and myself, we've worked with you directly. Now, out of Ontario, though, right when you've done Ontario with workshops, what are the strongest areas so that you remember that actually had a lot more stronger energy?
I've been to so many places. That's the thing. With rescue mediums, we had 7 seasons, 89 shows. So I've been to a lot of different places. And then, of course, with Steve Furlong, I've done workshops in lots of different areas. So there's some very, very atmospheric places, not just the places we've investigated, but the actual towns themselves or the villages themselves, you know. I think one of the places that really held, it's sort of there and it's in my heart, if you like, was the Red Hill episode of Rescue Mediums, when we connected with the natives of the land, and we had a grandfather, a gorgeous grandfather, who was helping us with that. I can't remember the name of David. The homeowner's name was David, and they had a gorgeous daughter who was so spiritual. You know, so spiritual. And so, of course, she's First Nations. Is that the correct terminology?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Today, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah. So they were a First Nations family, and I got a fabulous little gift. Both myself and Alison, we got a fabulous little gift of a medicine pouch that was made for us, which was fantastic. And that I carried that with me all over the world.
Yes.
You know, that goes with me everywhere. It's very sacred to me. It has a little turtle on the top, which is interesting because one of my spirit guides, his the first totem animal he ever gave to me was a turtle.
Okay.
So, you know, it was very, very special. And David did not know that. He didn't know that story. So when it was given to me, it was absolutely, it blew me away. So yeah, it's a very special place.
Yeah, that's like us. So going to Rescue Mediums, I know you've done like a large percentage of area within Ontario, basically Ontario. Now, how did you actually get started by any chance for Rescue Mediums?
Well, that's down to a cousin of mine. If I say we're sort of like cousins removed, but we are cousins. Her name is Jean James, and so basically we share the same great grandparents. So I'm researching my family history. She's researching hers. Now, she left England with her family in the 1970s to go to Canada. And so she was researching in Canada and I'm researching in England. And we met via the internet with regards to researching the family. So she found that, she said, I'll research, you know, where your family came to, because my great-grandfather supposedly left England and went to Canada. He never did. It was his brother who did that, actually. And so Jean said, well, let me research in Canada. It was in Toronto. And I would do the English side of it, and then we'd join forces. She found a house in Withrow Avenue that belonged to Michael Lamport. The incredible Michael Lamport. Yeah. And she said to him, I have a cousin in England. We're looking to see, do you know anything about your house? So he said, I'll go and find out. So he went and did some research, got back in touch with Jean, and they had this conversation. She said to him, my cousin is psychic. She's been on TV shows in England, and maybe you should talk to her. So Michael eventually, after about 6 months, I think, he contacted me along with Gregory Shepherd, and the two of them came over to England to film myself and Christine at the Moon Hotel in Derbyshire. So yeah, they took the demo back to Canada, and W Network said, we love this, and they commissioned a show. So it's all down to family history. And I really believe that my lot upstairs, so my great grandfather and my great uncle, Oliver, who built the house that Michael Lamport lived in, I have to tell you. I believe that they had got, you know what, these people need to be together. And I really believe that they contrived the whole thing. I don't think it was down to coincidence or anything. I think that they have gone, yeah, okay, let's make this work. And it did work. I've made some fantastic friends in Canada, yourself included.
Yes.
As a result of the shows that I've done there.
Yeah. Now, for those who are listening, Michael Lamport was a very special gentleman. He looked exactly like how Robert Williams looked like. If you put the two together without them talking, you would not know who Michael was. Michael was basically a split twin of Robert Williams, exactly of what he looked like. He was a great guy, and thanks to him, though, he basically brought Jackie and Trevor and myself actually to know each other without really doing anything. It was actually just quite weird of how we met, but we'll be right back after this quick commercial, and we're going to be talking a little bit more with Jackie of what Jackie's been up to and see if Eva has any more questions. So but we'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Hey everyone, check out our merchandise that we have now listed underneath HauntedLivePodcast.com. We used to be on Etsy, but we found a little bit of troubles with that, so we are now on HauntedLivePodcast.com with our merch store. Check it out. We've got so much items all together with cleansing items and crystals and so much more. Check us out, HauntedLivePodcast.com.
Follow us here at Haunting Live, our new shows, and we are honored to have a brand new co-host on our shows now. Yolanta Mary is our co-host, and she does a lot of work for us on the side and introduces people to the show and discusses different topics on the show. So we're really happy to have her here this season. So go check out our brand new episode.
All right, so yes, that's actually our quick commercial break, and goodness, we're talking with Jackie Dineison, and Jackie Dineison is from the UK. What I've seen, though, is beautiful locations over there. I still have to get over there to be able to see Jackie. And also Eva also has to get over there at some time over there to actually be able to check out things. So, yes.
Yeah, I have to get over there so I can go to Stonehenge and get one of those stones from there. I don't get arrested.
It's like so yes. So what we're doing is we're looking at Jackie's life experience, her own spiritual walk. Now, Jackie, you've been actually up to a lot of things, though. You just got back. Was it from China or Japan?
Yes. I've over the last couple of years. This is another thing that I've really put down to spirit and them directing me where I need to go, is when I made the decision to close the shop within my shop within a matter of a week. I got a phone call to go to Japan. So I did. I've done 3 shows for them now. The last one was in December. In actual fact, it airs tomorrow in Japan. The third one airs tomorrow at 9:00 at night in Japan. It's a 2-hour show. They're all 2-hour shows, and they're like a history, which I love. I love history anyway. So I sort of have a partner almost who he's the historian. So I've had 2 different historian partners with the last 2 shows. One specializes in like ancient Japanese culture and history. The other one in sort of the 1800s, 1900s. So specialists in their own fields. And it's sort of unraveling mysteries that could be, did this really happen? Where, what happened to that person? So one of them, the last one that I've done is an assassination that took place in the mid 1800s. And they wanted to know the build up to the assassination, who was behind it, because that was always, nothing was ever proven who was behind it. So I came up with some theories as a result of the energy work that I did there, communication and through psychometry, because I work a lot with my hand chakras, so psychometry is important to me when I'm working like that. And the other one is a really, really interesting one, because it's over a 450-year-old mystery. And so basically you had got like a general who had turned on the warlord who was his master. And I mean, there's obviously a lot more to it than that. And he turned on him and he burnt down the place where the warlord was. And so it was he really there? What did he do? Was he really responsible, and why did he do it? So I have tasks to do. I have to try and uncover these mysteries and find out because I don't know any of the histories of these people. They don't tell me who I'm going to see. I don't know what's going to happen. They present me with an object, and the object is like, oh, we're going to a museum now, and you're going to see the mouth guard of this person who owns this. And it's over 450 years old, this mouth guard. It's part of a facial armor. And so I had to read the energy of that to see what I could come up with, And so I did come up with something that wasn't in the history books. And so I felt that this person I was connected to had a sister. And the historian said, no, he didn't have a sister. The curator of the museum said, no, he didn't have a sister. Anyway, because the historian was then really, really curious about why I'd given this information, because I said she was quite politically connected, which women weren't in those days. You're talking 450 years ago in Japan, in the feudal system. So women were really not involved in that way within politics. So it was quite a big thing to say, but that's what I was feeling. And they went and did some more research, and they found her. And so, it's interesting. I love it when things like that happen, that you don't know. I don't speak Japanese, so I can't read any of the history books. I don't know where I'm going or who I'm going to be looking at. So it's just a really interesting thing. And I love working like that. The last one that I did, which aired in March, or was it November? No, it aired in March last year, I think. I had to connect with a warrior, and they let me hold his sword. And he's something of a hero. His name is Toshizo, and he's a hero. And so I held his sword, obviously with gloves on, and the face mask as well. I held his sword, and as I'm holding his sword, I really had a feeling of his presence with me. And I said, I'm being told you have a lock of his hair. And I said this to the lady who was the curator of the museum, and he is a family member, so she is a descendant of his sister. So I think there's 5 generations going back. And she looked at me, and she just put her hand to her mouth, and she was like, oh my God, how did you know that? And I said, well, I'm being told you have a lock of his hair. And she said, no one knows that. And she had a lock of his hair in her safe that she'd had there for, I don't know how long it'd been passed down. And the historian, who is a friend of hers, said, I've known you for over 40 years and you've never told me
Yes.
about that. And he has written 8 books on this chap and the order, if you like, that he was belonged to at that time period. So he's an expert in that time period. So anyway, at the end of the show, we were able to see the lock of hair, which was amazing to be able to see that lock of hair. It was incredible. So I love working in Japan. It's a beautiful country and the people there are so lovely.
Yeah. So Eva, it looks like you have a question, or
you say you do psychometry and different things that you've done with it. Have you ever worked with the police on anything?
I have, yes. I've worked with the police in Canada, also in England. But I do have to say, whatever a psychic gives to the police, they will not act on the information that you are given unless there are more. Let's just say 10 people who are all psychic and in different parts of the country all have similar things, like they have a dream or they have a meditation or they just have a feeling that they're connecting to someone, and they all give similar information to the police, and the police will act on that, but they will not say that this has come from a psychic, because they have to work with hard evidence, and you can't unless you've got something there in your mind and you can prove that, which is why I like to work with historians and researchers, because I'm a stickler for proof. So if I can get the proof afterwards, then that's terrific. So yes, I have worked with the police, but it is all sort of hush hush kind of thing. So I wouldn't be able to comment on any one particular case.
Oh, that's interesting, because I have also worked with the police. That's why I asked. And,
how did you find working with the police?
Actually, I had very good response. In fact, I worked with one particular department in the Detroit area when I was actually living there. And you're right. They don't really like to discuss working with a psychic or psycho. I can never keep that straight. And I was just, my official title would have been consultant. That's it. But I've always had good response working with the police. I've always had good relationships in doing that sort of stuff. And you're right. They don't like to say, "Oh yeah, we brought in a psychic," but they will call me. In fact, the one case that I had been working or had been called in on, I just couldn't grab the information. And they even brought in a second psychic, which amazed me. But so my responses, or my background with that, I've been very positive. And
good.
They were different.
Yeah, and I think it depends where you are as well. Obviously, in America, each state is different, isn't it? So you've got and each county is different. So you've got different opinions in different places. Obviously, England is a lot smaller. It's just a tiny little speck on America and Canada.
Like I said, I lived in Detroit, so there was a lot of psychics out there in the Detroit area, and they did do a lot of work with the police. They did do a lot of work otherwise. So it's a very different attitude, I guess.
Right. I tend to use a lot of remote viewing when I'm working with the police. So I do a lot of, the remote work. If I'm asked to go to a location, then I will have met police on a location, and the information that was given to them, they sort of took on board, but they will not commit to saying. So, 2 episodes of Rescue Mediums, of course, in Canada. Were police connected, got the police connected with those. So I found that the police in Canada were far more open to using psychics, or to using psychics is the wrong words really, is to working alongside or accepting information from psychics.
Yeah, it is a very different venue to work in with the police, because they can acknowledge you, but not really.
Right. Yeah.
So,
just for me, thinking about that is during Rescue Mediums, on one of the episodes with the police, the information that both Christine and I had given Michael Lamport, who is the producer of Rescue Mediums, and also the narrator, and his partner Gregory Shepherd, who's the director, they Michael went to the police with the information that we're given, and the police actually questioned him because some of the information that he gave to them from us hadn't been made public, and they wanted to know how he knew that information. So he was, let's just say, detained for a little while until they realised that why he was doing what he was doing, because we just wanted to help, of course.
Yeah, it's like
it's very interesting.
So I'm gonna go back to some of your workshops. One of them that actually I was just being told to actually my left ear, and this one here we did in Milton with you. Okay. Right.
Oh yes.
All right.
Yes.
So we were walking around the house beforehand, like the day before, and you were picking up to do with the stern room, actually on the second floor. Now, for those listening, though, Jackie was able to pick up to do with somebody being sick actually within the room. And also to let you know, Jackie, actually, we did workshops afterwards, and people were picking up what you were picking up directly inside that room.
Oh wow!
So yeah.
Oh, that's good. I think if more than one person picks up the same thing, there's got to be something, right?
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
So I just kind of figured just let you know, because my left ear was being talked in, like my not spirit, but my ancestor that's actually on my left hand side. She was like, "Let Jackie know this. Let Jackie know this." So I just kind of figured to let you know directly. So
thank you.
It's like but yes. So what else have you been up to, by any chance? Because I know though that you were saying though that you were, I think it was with Haunted Hospital that you were with.
Yeah, so I've got a number of things that are going. So I'm involved with the podcast, Inspector Paranormal. It's Inspectra, so like in spectre, like a spectre, sort of ghost, sort of spectre. So INSPECTRE, rather, Inspector. And we've done season 1. We've completed season 2, which is just starting now, season 2, and I'm part of the panel with that. So I am the sort of the psychic. We have a historian, we have a skeptic, and we have Tom Barrow, who is the creator of the series, who he goes into like haunted locations. It could be somebody's home, it could be a workplace, where paranormal things have been happening. Maybe the staff there have been spooked. So he investigates with and interviews the staff, and then we come in as a panel with our opinions of what they've experienced. And so that is really interesting. I'm loving doing that show, and that is available on most of the platforms. Spotify, Apple, a lot of the different platforms. So, you can find that on the internet. And something else that I'm really excited about is haunted history. So it's haunted history, psychics on the ghost trail. And that's myself and a young medium, Megan Downs. And so it's a nice combination because, I'm old and like the old sage.
You're not old, girl.
With years of experience.
I bet I got her beat.
Yeah, and so she is experienced. She's very, very talented in her own right, and she she's always in demand. She's got a huge client base, and she's a healer. She's a sound healer. She's a Reiki healer. So she's got a lot of strings to her bow, and we really connect very well together. She trained at Feathers many years ago. I'm saying many years ago. She's only young now. She's still only young. But we sort of first met her when she was too young for us to train. So Steve Furlong, who was my partner in Feathers, he trained her mum, and then her mum passed the message on. And when Megan was old enough to come to us, then she came herself and trained. So she's been part of our lives for a good number of years now. And we go into sort of historical places, if you like. So just for example, there is a little market town in Cheshire in England that has Anglo-Saxon crosses in the market square. So there's a lot of history there. So we went to see what could we pick up, and we sort of, it was like a psychic buzz. It was like a vibration that sort of led us from play, because Megan loves working with ley lines and things like that. She's very into the Wiccan side of things. And so we went from one place to another. We ended up in a beautiful old hall, and we communicated with a lot of different spirits there who had their own stories to tell. And that's the thing is, what do these spirits that we encounter, what is their story? Do they just want to tell the story? Do they just want to are they trapped? Even I think we've only found one place that we've gone where spirits were trapped. Mainly it's just like what happened in that area at that time, or on different time levels. And most of that is not in the history book. So therefore we have a researcher who goes away, does the research, and tries to unravel the stories that we've uncovered as we go along. So and that's what I like. I love to have the research afterwards, when we go, oh yes, when we saw Billy Joe on the top of the stairs, and he said there is he died in 1872 of measles. And then the researcher goes away and finds out, oh yeah, actually this person did die of measles, and he did die in that year, and that is the area he lived at the time. So it's just unraveling people's stories. So it's really interesting. So it's historical places like Roman Chester. So we went to Chester, which has got a Roman amphitheatre there. There's a lot of Roman artifacts there. So we're uncovering stories that then has to be researched. So it's a great formula, and we love it. And then we sit and have a chat about the research afterwards. So we've done 4 so far that we launch tomorrow. So we're going to be doing 1 a week, and we start filming again very shortly.
That's cool.
That is available, by the way, on veryparanormal.com.
Okay.
So that will be available with the link straight to Haunted History's website and to our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So, Eva, anything?
Yes, I was going to ask you. You live in England.
Yes.
And you just mentioned the Roman whatever arenas.
Yes.
That you have there in England. So your country has a lot more history than our country. I mean, it's going back centuries. So my question to you is, as you go through your daily life in England, do you ever, so no, I'm trying to think how to put this. Do you pick up on this on the psychic vibrations that go back in? I mean, is it intrusive, or do you just kind of ignore it? Do you, how does it work with you? I'm just curious.
I clock on and clock off. So I go, yeah, okay, I'm open for business now. No, I'm not open for business. Don't leave me alone. So I think you have to, because this is what I do all the time. Because I do readings for people, and we do tutorials, as we said, past life regression, and so I have to be able to live my human life as well, and so I do clock off. But when I go to places that I know or I can feel something there, then I'm aware of them being there. So if I don't want to be disturbed, I literally, it's almost like I hang the sign over going, do not disturb, private time, unless, somebody needs help. But I've slept in some very haunted places that ghost hunts have been, so you've got ghost hunters who have been there, they've done paranormal events there. And I'm like, how did you sleep in that room? Well, I just put a notice out saying, do not disturb, and got my spirit guide to stand by my spiritual doorway and not let anybody in, because I need to have my beauty sleep,
Yes.
So
So,
I tried the
a couple.
Go ahead.
Come on, sorry.
I was just going to say, I tried the beauty sleep too. It didn't work.
My mum's got a great thing, my mum is 92, and she'll get the cream out in the morning to put on her face, and she'll say, this cream isn't working, wrinkles are still there.
That's like, yes.
But no, the reason I asked it is because, like I say, here in America, I mean, man, I was at Gettysburg. That's 150 years old.
Oh,
yeah. That's still young.
Yes, but with Gettysburg, now I would feel the energy if I went somewhere like that.
Oh, you can't miss it.
Feel the energy.
Yeah,
you can't miss it there. Same thing at Custer's Last Stand, the Big Little Horn. You can't miss the energies there either. Yeah. Believe me, you can't miss it, because not only are you involved with the American cavalry, you also are involved with the Native Americans, or was it First Nation? I'm never
First
sure
Nation.
what to say.
First Nation.
Yeah, at least I'm not saying Indians,
Right.
Anyway, you've got both of those energies working there, and some of the things that went on, and it's like you can't really ignore it, even though you put the sign up and do not disturb.
Yeah.
Same thing at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So sorry.
But like I say, I think about you speak about England and all these beautiful, wonderful, historic places that go back centuries. And it's like you look at here in the States and it's like, we're lucky if we hit 200 years.
Yeah, so what Eva actually says sometimes, so whenever she's doing actually readings or even be able to pick up energy, she sometimes gets a 2x4 across the head.
Yes.
Now, have you had that today actually on this episode by any chance, Eva?
Not really, but I've got a couple of guys that are standing behind me, just kind of nudging me. Ask the question. Ask the question. Yes. All right.
Yeah. So now, Jackie. Sorry for kind of making it short. Now, right when you've been reading, now since we've done actually Zoom with you for today's show, has there been any messages coming across to you by any chance from Eva or myself?
I have to be very honest with you, Chris.
Or
and
are
say
you? Or
no.
No. Okay. All right.
Yeah, to say no, because I again clock on, clock off.
Yeah.
And so And today has been a really, really busy day for me today.
Okay.
And so, well, every day is a busy day. And so I like to prepare when I'm going to be connected with loved ones in spirit. I really like to sort of prepare. So I'd like my candles, I put my crystals there, I do a little meditation, ground, obviously, open my chakras, do a little meditation, talk to my spirit guide, and then my spirit guide gives me like a list of things for for the people I'm going to be doing the readings for, or for things that I need to be aware of for myself for the day. And so that's my little rituals that I have. And so it's a bit like, when somebody knows that you're psychic, and you'll have both experienced this, where they'll say, "Oh, well, I'll give you my ring. What can you get from that?" Or "What can you tell me?" Or "Can you see anything around me?" And it's like, no, this is just me, the human being me. I've not gone up those steps to meet my guide yet, and so. It's very, very rare that I would do an impromptu reading like that. So I'm sorry to disappoint you.
No. It's good though. It's good though, because you just made the perfect point. Because I know for Eva and myself though, we get people always asking us, "Oh, what's her reading?" Right? But I love though that you actually put it though. We have to be more in tune we have to be more in meditation, which is so true. And I love the way I love the way that you put it. So it's like, gosh. Now,
thank you.
No problem. Now, just before we wrap up the show, where can people get in contact with you, by any chance?
So my website, if you just type in www.jackiedineison.com, you'll get to my website. So there's email. You can contact me by email there. You'll get me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I have to say, I don't do a lot on Instagram as much as I probably should do. So I tend to dip in and dip out. But yeah, Facebook. So you'll get me on Jackie Dineison Rescue Mediums on Facebook. But via the website. You can't. I did have my telephone number on there, but I had to take it off. But because I live in England, I'm getting phone calls from people all over the world, and of course we've got different time zones.
Yes.
So it's not very helpful when you're getting a phone call at 3:00 in the morning from somebody who wants to book a reading with you. So
yeah, that's like so. And just before we officially wrap up, is there any stories so that sort of that you want to share with people that would be more enlightening for people to help with people actually on their spiritual journey that you've actually happened yourself?
Yeah. Well, one of the things I think to me it's really important is connecting with your spirit guides, and the ancestors who have been there before us. I can't even get my words out now. That's what I need, Chris. Talking to your spirit guide, isn't it awful, really, when you think about it? You don't speak to your best friend until you need something, and then you contact your friend and you go, I've not seen you for such a long time, and how lovely to see you. And by the way, can you do, it's like, contact people when you need something. I found that, with myself, you know a lot of people, and then somebody contacts you out of the blue and they go, I just felt compelled to ring you. And then you find out there's an ulterior reason why. So it's important to me that we treat our spirit guides with respect. They're not just there just to help us out when things go wrong. They are there to help us on our spiritual journey. And so we have to be in tune. We have to know our own energy first and foremost, and then connect with our spirit guides. So I think, to me, that's the grounding is important. The protection is important. Connecting with spirit guides is very important. And take on board whatever resonates with you from whoever, because it's an exchange of energy. You give energy, you receive energy. And so take on board what resonates with you. If something makes sense, then go with the flow with that. And if something doesn't make any sense at all, then it's not either the right thing for you to hear, or it's not the right time for you to hear that information.
Yes.
So knowledge is a wonderful thing.
Yep, so true, and that's where we'll close off the show today. We do say thank you very much to Jackie Dineison for being actually on the show.
Thank you.
With Gypsy, Lady Eva, and myself, though. Again, those, if you guys want to be able to find more information, please contact Jackie through the internet, and that's actually at JackieDineison.com. Very lovely lady, one of my good friends. And yes, we do say thanks a lot, though. You guys have a wonderful time. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.